Hi everyone and welcome to the Aston Villa versus Arsenal Starting 11 show. My name is Laurie, I'm your host for today and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by two very special guests. To my left I've got Tosin in the building.
Good to see you, bro.
And also to my right I've got my boy Turkish in the building.
Come on.
How you doing?
Looking lean and mean.
Come on, G. Look who's talking, man. Long time.
Right, let's start with Tosin, man. How you, what you been up to since we spoke to you last?
Oh, mate, a lot of stuff. I moved out of London.
Wow.
Yeah, I live in Oxford now, so I had to travel. You should feel very honoured that I've come here. I had to travel all the way from Oxford to come here. No, I'm joking. I came here with my wife, so just life. It's good to be here.
Oh, good. It's great that you've moved out and things are going well, presumably.
Yeah, yep.
Nice one. And Turkish, I know you're no longer in London either. But,
Yeah.
How you keeping, man? Looking forward to today?
I'm all good. I'm looking for. I'm excited about this one. This is the first big test of the season. Straight in, like the first away game is the first big test.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a big
W. That's what we
W.
want to see. It's good it still happened with the window open, just in case, worst case scenarios and all that. Because you don't want the first big. Because listen, Tottenham's the next big test after the window.
It's true.
I mean, Brighton in between, we've seen now they've got 2 and 2, so they've got 6 points at the moment. So they're a test in themselves. But at Emirates, you expect to be beating them, getting 3 points.
It's true.
So I'm excited about this one, man.
I am. I mean, I was talking to Curtis. Shout out to Curtis, by the way. I was talking to him at length this morning about various things to do with Arsenal. And I was saying to him that, as far as I'm concerned anyway, this game today is arguably a tougher game than the Spurs game. Villa at home.
I think so.
Yeah, Villa at home is it's a stern test for us. It's not an impossible test, but it's going to be a difficult one.
Yeah.
They beat us home and away last season. Last season they beat us there 1-0, courtesy of an early goal by John McGinn.
Fake double, but yeah.
So I'm expecting today. I mean, they had a good win last week against West Ham. I saw that game.
They dominated them.
Yeah, they did. It should have been more than 2-1 actually.
But you know what it is with both games though, because I know what you're saying, but I think Aston Villa, we've lost twice in a row now. What are the odds that we're losing 3 on the bounce?
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Tottenham, we've beat them twice away on the bounce for the first time since 2014. So what are the odds we're gonna do it again?
True.
So I'm looking at that, and odds are really nothing in it, but it is. Yeah, we're going into both big away games in very different fashion in terms of form.
Yeah, that's a good point. I still back us in both those, though. To be honest, I think
There's lots to talk about today. Perhaps I should kick things off by some injury news that we're hearing. I think it's pretty much confirmed, isn't it? Gabriel Jesus won't be featuring today, courtesy of a groin injury. That's unfortunate.
Goodness sake.
Now, where shall I start? Tosin, what's your views on this? Because Gabriel Jesus had a lot of injuries over the last couple of seasons. We were all saying that this season is going to be a big season for him. And lo and behold, 2 games in, he's injured. And he could be out for a few weeks from what I'm...
This is news to me. When was this released?
I swear.
No,
Yesterday?
Well, I didn't see anything about
Or was
this.
it early today? It might have been early today. It was early today.
So annoying.
Sorry.
This morning I heard about it.
Yeah, today.
Legit, he's been my reason to actually swallow the fact that we're not buying a striker. And then now he gets injured. It's annoying because I was looking for him to have a big season.
Same.
I still expect Havertz to start over him, but like Jesus looked hungry. And Arteta made comments about his attitude, his mentality, saying like he looks different. And I saw it as, okay, Jesus, we're getting back to the Jesus of old, that guy that had a bit of dog in him. But now it's just like, bro, like you just get injured every like 3-4 games. That's frustrating, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking to him to be a big impact player for us. Maybe even push Havertz out when Havertz ain't in good form. But that's not good news at all.
We're looking awfully light. Because with the Vieira news, Eddie's on the way out. Jesus has now been in.
Well, is Eddie on the way out? I mean,
he is.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No, but you know what? The injury to Jesus could impact Eddie leaving.
No, it shouldn't impact.
It shouldn't.
But I'm on the channel pretty much every day. So tell him, bro, please.
No, but I'm speculating out loud. So if it's a long-term injury and the transfer window ends, as we know, early next week, do Arsenal let Eddie go, knowing that Jesus could be out for a period of time?
I think we're signing a forward. I just don't think it's a striker. I think we're signing some sort of winger or attacking player. There's no way we're willing to sanction the exits of Nelson, Nketiah, and not buy anyone. I highly doubt that. And now you've let Fabio Vieira go as well. So obviously that shows big trust in Emery, which I actually think is the right call. But I'm thinking, if we're looking at the final third in terms of players we got, we're now looking light. So I think we're buying a forward.
As soon as the Vieira news broke, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
As soon as that news broke yesterday, I think pretty much all Arsenal fans said to themselves, okay, because I think Arteta coupled it up with surprise. Maybe he said something. He used the word surprise. To be honest, I should have probably researched it before coming on, but he said something along those lines. We all expect from that we're going to get an attacker.
I think so.
Now that Jesus is injured, I don't know how keeping Eddie has become the question. Now that
he's got to go.
There's more emphasis. If the attacker was like a grade C / potential type of attacker that was coming in after Vieira, okay, fair. At the very best, that's fair. But now our plan B striker, our plan B backup to Saka, really, because Nelson's not really trusted, in Jesus is now injured. Hopefully it's not too bad, but the reality is it's an indication that, this could be the first of many this season potentially. So we've got to kind of do something in the attacking department in the next week or so.
I'm just curious to see who it's gonna be.
Well, we're running out of options, really, because most of the strikers that we've been linked with, they're either staying at their clubs.
What was Arteta's words? Do you know it?
No, I don't.
But he pretty much did say, that it could throw up a surprise or we're still working or something like that. Yeah, that's fair. That's exactly what I want to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear. And I think he mentioned that he'll talk about his contract after that, right?
Yeah, he said that he'll discuss his
and I have linked the two together. I have linked whether Arteta's been happy with this transfer window. Essentially, the pressure is on Arteta this season to deliver now.
It is.
So has this transfer window been good enough for him? I think signing or not signing the contract, when we move into September, that will indicate how happy he has been. And I think the last week, if we do get an attacker over the line, because I like this Marino guy.
I like him as well.
The attributes he has and the fact he's a natural 8, like it solves the position on the pitch.
Strong as well.
If we get an attacker in that, it's a bit of excitement going into the Tottenham Man City away games after international break. I think
it
you
would
turn
appear that
around and
Mourinho
say,
coming in is, let's face it, a likely replacement or long-term replacement for Partey, right?
I don't think so.
We see he's coming in as a number
I think
8.
Rice goes into the 6 and I think Marino's the 8.
I agree with Turkish.
So Partey's been occupying that number 8 role for a while.
Nah, Partey plays 6 with the 8 with Rice.
If he plays Rice takes the 8 role. I think Partey's gone, but I don't see Marino as a replay. I think he's a really exciting. People are trying to downplay the signing. I think he's an exciting addition for Arsenal because, he's exactly what we need in the left-sided 8 role. We've been crying out for it all the last season. We're getting someone who's got Premier League experience, can play there. He's coming off of a few good seasons in Sociedad, strong, matches the physical profile of the team, technically gifted as well. I mean, what more could you really ask for from a midfielder? And we're getting him in the prime of his career. So
Okay then. Okay, we'll talk about that a bit more. There's a few other things that I want to talk about as well. So we know that the teams, I think they changed the rules slightly. So the team news, the official team will be announced an hour and a quarter before the game starts. The game starts at 5:30. So if my maths is correct, the team should be announced around about 4:15. So yeah, there's a few things I want to chat to you guys about.
One thing though, sorry, Laurie, because there is a bit of breaking news. It happened a few minutes ago, and it's breaking news confirming what we found out yesterday with Vieira. Romano said, "Done deal, here we go." All of that stuff that he says. So that's
okay. I was going to talk about it. So let's talk
right?
about it now. Let's talk about it now.
I mean, if you couple it up with Smith Rowe scoring today.
Yeah,
I mean,
he scored for. He was not scored for Fulham.
Yeah, so we've got, we've let go, and I'm not saying it was wrong to let go of both. I think it's quite ruthless. It's a good indication that we are going to get another attacker in. But yeah, I mean, we've pretty much we've got less depth than we did last season at this moment in time because we look at our bench: no Jesus, no Smith Rowe, no Vieira. I think we've got one more player missing.
Is he a big miss?
No, Nketiah, but I say missing, but missing to Laurie.
Is Fabio Vieira going to be a big miss? Because he was one of those players that was in that little group.
No.
People were saying that this was a big season for him because so far it had not gone too well for him, if we're being honest. He's come to the club for 35 million with a big reputation.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that he's not lived up to that reputation for whatever reason.
I
mean, I'll say it straight out. He looks to me as one of those guys, very talented player, but not quite suited physically to the demands of the Premier
He gets
League.
munched by the Premier League.
Yeah.
He's too he's like a happy,
bit lightweight, right?
happy meal, man. Like it's like when you're hungry and you want to eat something, and then the only option is McDonald's. Yeah, I mean you'll get something, but it's not going to fill you up. That's Fabio Vieira, and to be honest, I'm both. It's 50-50 for me. I'm part relieved, but also part disappointed because I was looking to him last season. I'm like, bro, I was at the Fulham match last season when he came on as a sub, and I was like, who is this Fabio Vieira? He had fire in his belly. He came on and was demanding the ball. He set up the goal for Eddie's what looked to be Eddie's win, and then we conceded that stupid goal to make it 2-2. You're thinking, okay, you're going to kick on. Then he turns out average performances. Then he gets injured, and now I'm hearing, okay, cool, he's had a full preseason, but I'm still not seeing much of him in preseason. In fact, I'm finding myself talking about Ethan more and more and more. So I just got to a point where I started the season. I'm like, you know what? I want Ethan to start over him. So I'm actually kind of happy he's gone, because that would be good for him. You get minutes. It's not a loan to buy. Maybe you do a Saliba thing. You go away. You get more time in the league you're used to. You come back. You beef up a bit, and then you help us next season. But either way, I don't see it as a negative for us because I want to see Ethan play more minutes. So I'm happy that it looks like this guy's going to get a lot more minutes this season.
Yeah, we'll definitely get minutes of Porto. Turkish, your thoughts on Fabio Vieira?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he did. What's it been? 2 years now? Yeah, not good enough, man.
Yeah,
I
not
mean,
good.
I like the fact that we were ruthless with it. If it was an option, like if it was put to us or put to me this summer, you know, we can only let go of one, Vieira or Smith Rowe. I'd probably have said Vieira. Yeah, I definitely would have said Vieira. After losing Smith Rowe, after selling Smith Rowe, because he does hold the value, homegrown talent, all of that stuff. I always thought to myself, we should still, you know, not rely on a Vieira amongst other players in the team. The fact we've done it for me is a big positive, and it does rejuvenate hope that in the last 5-6 days of the window now, we're going to get someone in that
I think so.
You know, that won't be just, you know, a backup option, someone that might excite us a little bit.
Yeah, and it's telling as well that most of the time in preseason, Arteta kept playing him on the right wing. I swear I've always seen him as someone that is there when Ødegaard can't get some minutes, when we need to rest him. For me, I find it telling. Why do you keep playing my man on the right? You're trying to make him like a backup option for Saka. So that tells me, if he's gone now, who's going to play there? You ain't playing Nelson there. So what? There's no way you're going to do this thing you've been doing the past 4 seasons where you play Saka till the death and you don't rest him. So we're buying someone.
Even the third option, which is Jesus to be back up. Now he's that injured. It's like, the back.
We're definitely buying
we
someone.
have to.
We must.
Yeah, it would appear that we definitely need strengthening.
I've got a couple super chats as
Yeah, go
well,
ahead.
Laurie. Sorry. Let me just scroll up quickly, make sure I get them in. Alex says, evening, well done to Ipswich for trying. He says 2-0 to us. Rizwan says, Jesus is not reliable as a backup striker or winger. What we just discussed, Darren saying Jesus injured. In other news, water is wet. Well, I mean, you know, like I said, if it's to happen, you know, in the transfer window, probably the best time for it to happen. Mark says Smith Rowe scored on his debut for Fulham. Injuries affected his career. I wish he could have stayed at Arsenal, but time to move on from him. He had his chances, 100%. And listen, big up everyone. 3.1k in the building. Hit the like button. We should get up to 1,000 likes, and the team shouldn't
that like
be
button,
too
man.
far
Smash
away.
that like button. You know what I mean? We want to see that like button getting smashed. Right, okay then. Just lastly on the Fabio Vieira thing, are you slightly disappointed that it's a loan and we couldn't have sold him? Because obviously we could do with the funds
I'm realistic.
in terms of, you know.
I'm realistic. So, you know, what's his value?
Exactly.
Well, we did pay 35 mil for it.
It doesn't matter what we pay for him. 2 years have passed. His value is pretty much nothing. Like, you know, until he proves himself again. That's the reality. You know, you laugh, but he'd probably see out his contract at the rate he was at Arsenal if a loan didn't come in.
Well, give me a price what you would prepared to accept for it.
Not now. Listen, a loan is probably best. Sometimes I don't like buy options because the loan might go so well and you've agreed a price that really you could have got more of if you didn't have that option. So I don't mind that it's just a loan, but hopefully that loan goes well. And next summer I'd expect 20-25 mil in that ballpark. Probably not up front.
I agree. I think his value is massively diminished. I mean, like Oliver Skipper's going for 25 M's to Leicester, but he's demonstrated that he can actually sort of cut it in the Premier League.
Plus there's a bit of English tax.
Yeah, Vieira has not demonstrated that he's got the physicality, the power, the pace to actually hack it. So he needs to go back to Porto, build up his reputation. Then the Champions League, have a good season, get us a cool 25, 20 M's like Turkish said.
I happen to believe that he is a talented player. I mean, we have seen little bits and pieces of it at Arsenal, albeit fleeting. But the one thing that obviously stands out, and obviously you guys have mentioned it, is the physicality.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem to be built for Premier League football. And I know that's something that gets thrown around quite a lot, but it's a thing. It's just a fact.
It's a classic. What's the classic saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Vieira is clearly a guy that's not worked hard to improve his game. We get it. We know you're talented. We know you can play these eye of the needle passes. We know you've got the flair. But the thing is, you're getting bullied. You're coming on the game.
But do you think that's down to him not working hard enough?
I think so. 100%.
He's just not physically at that level.
No, I think so. It's just not him, because it was the same thing with Ødegaard. When he came on loan, you could see there was a good player there. You could see it. But my thing with him is, bro, I don't see you in matches. Like, you're disappearing. Like, I don't get it. Why you're meant to impress yourself in the game. Even the season where Spurs narrowly beat us to 5th, Ødegaard had a good season, but there were so many games, probably like half of them, like, bro, where are you? I can't. But then the season where we nearly won the league before last season, I'm like, not only is this guy technically there, but he's probably the hardest working guy on the pitch. The way he's always leading the press, the way he's always closing people down. I could see you in the game. I can't say the same thing for Vieira.
To be fair, though, if you look at the physical dimensions of Ødegaard compared to Fabio Vieira, it might take you long to realise. No, but Ødegaard is a much bigger, in terms of his frame and his physicality, he's a much bigger guy.
Yeah, but he can add to that, though. Vieira can add to that. Look at Leon Goretzka. Have you seen the
change-up was mad. The change-up was
mad. He can look at Saka. Okay, great. Yeah, Saka's African, but Saka is a guy that people bounce off of him. Yeah. I think there's stuff that you can do fitness-wise to help yourself improve in these areas.
Get him on that bench press. Take him down the gym with you, man.
I would love to, but obviously
there's a question I wanted to ask. There's a question I wanted to ask you lot, and to be honest, that question has been further fueled by some of the things I'm seeing on Twitter in terms of rumours and whatnot. But the only real question today in terms of lineup, before the lineup does come out, is left back.
Right, yeah, I was going to mention that.
Yeah, what's I mean, Laurie, we briefly spoke on it on the preview.
We did.
So Tosin probably go first on this. Who do you start today against Aston Villa in the left back position?
I mean, who I would start is Timber.
Okay.
Three options.
Who I wouldn't start Calafiori yet. I think Timber's perfect for it. His cameo. I love James's video. I'm not trying to plug him, but I love his video on Timber because it's clear what he brings to the team. I think Zinchenko will start though. I think he's just going to play. He's saying stuff like Timber's not fully ready yet, and I don't think he fully yet. Even though he likes Calafiori, I think he's waiting. He doesn't fully yet trust him in such a game like this. So I can only see Zinchenko starting.
The rumours are that it is Timber, Laurie.
No, you know what?
I'll be surprised if Timber starts.
If it is Timber, I'm happy with that. Because,
I'm happy with it.
I would have gone for Timber to start as well. I agree with Tosin. I don't think Zinchenko should start. Having said that, I don't think Calafiori is quite ready, especially for a game of this magnitude. But definitely, I think Zinchenko, with respect, he should be stood down for this game. I mean, if you remember the corresponding game last season.
He should be stood down for this game.
Yeah, man. I mean,
he's not been that bad.
No. Well, what I'm saying is, if you think back to last season when we played Villa, Bailey gave him a warm time.
Yeah,
him and Diaby really roughed him up.
He did.
And
that's the wise move. It's just the wording stood down. For
this game, I mean, listen, Zinchenko is a quality player. Zinchenko's a quality player, but I also believe in that term, horses for courses.
What does that mean? Horses for courses?
Meaning that if you have a certain course and you have certain horses that are going to run better on certain courses, you know what I mean? And I just think that given the opposition we're up against today, Leon Bailey in particular on that wing, I think if Zinchenko plays, they actually target Zinchenko.
Mm-hmm.
If you get Timber in there, I think Timber is much more suited to preventing Bailey from doing what he does than Zinchenko is. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, yeah. I would agree with that. But again, talking on James and his comments on Timber, I mean, when he came on, most of what he did was in the attacking final third or the middle
offensively.
Third. So, that's also expected of that position. So it'll be interesting because if it is to be Timber, I'd want Timber. But I think the same risk in a way lies when we play Zinni because that position entails our fullback roaming into areas where if we do get caught out on the ball, it's a long distance for them to get back into a good position. So I want to see how it works, because I think we all like Timber. You know, we haven't seen much of him in an Arsenal shirt yet. And I think we all want him to start. But let's see how, you know, the balance of security and the aid in the attack works for him.
I mean, if the manager's looking at experience, then obviously Zinchenko, you would have to go for Zinchenko. But I think, as I said earlier, with this particular game, given the threats that they have from the right wing, I think Timber matches up better against Bailey than Zinchenko would. And whilst we all like to see Calafiori, he's come to the club with quite a big reputation, and he seems an exciting player. I think this might be a game too soon. So yeah, for me, I would go with Timber, but we'll see what happens. Is there anyone else in the team that you might be looking at making a change today? Or I mean, let's talk about it. Some people have questioned Thomas Partey's performance last week. Not so much the first half, but there were certainly people that
I think offensively
thought that in the second half he dropped his levels a little bit.
Yeah, physically he's not the same. Thomas Partey, it's clear. I think injuries have whacked him. He's not the same guy, and you can't really trust him. You couldn't really trust him over a whole season, but now I'm just thinking, can I trust this guy for 90 minutes? Not sure about that. So I still think he starts to bring on Jorginho, because I know you already know what type of game this is going to be. Villa are going to try and throw everything at us, but I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll go ahead, because that's the way Emery plays. That's the way he plays, especially when they're at home. And that's actually what cost them towards the end of the season, because their invincible home record, whatever it was last season, it started falling apart because they were still playing the exact same way at home and teams were just picking them off. So I see Jorginho coming on to try and help us gain control of the match, but I don't think
it would not surprise me if Arsenal had the majority of the possession in this game.
Yeah, we always.
I see Villa as more of a counter-attacking team. They play that 4-3-2-1.
Yeah.
They have that what they call the two guys in front of the back four there screening, and they do that well. Tielemans and Onana.
Yeah. But
I do think that Arsenal.
Onana's a machine though in midfield. So
is.
I would actually want a guy like Partey starting off and then bring on Jorginho.
Turkish.
Listen, I agree that Partey wasn't great in the first game of the season, faded, and wasn't great at the end of last season, faded. I'm surprised we still got him, but I don't mind that we've got him, because Partey's quality. It was only 14 months ago we were saying Rodri, then Partey and Casemiro in the league. So Partey's quality, and to be able to replace him for what we probably would have got for him in the summer, that level of quality when you do have him. Yeah, we probably wouldn't have done that, especially when you look at the way the rest of the windows worked out.
Yeah.
Thing is, we've left ourselves with, until Merino comes in, we've left ourselves with Partey, who's inconsistent, and Jorginho, who's probably consistently available, but over a 30-game season, you don't really want him to be your main number 6. He more does a job than someone you rely upon. So I'm glad this Merino deal should be in before the transfer window shuts, because now I see our midfield more formed, and then Partey and Jorginho are more the seasoning on top, the sauce to the side. Do you get it?
Yeah, I agree. Maybe Miles Lewis Skelly gets some games.
Yeah, Partey for me starts today, because I think we should be on the front foot. We should go at it.
I agree.
And when you have to pick a midfielder of the two to do that, I think Partey is the one that,
Yeah. I think offensively, I can only look at physically your presence in midfield, but offensively, I saw him playing good passes against Wolves. And that's what he does well. So that's what we're going to need today.
Certainly in the first half, I thought he played very well. In the second half, I do think his levels dropped. And he got a little bit sloppy. Some people are saying it could be a fitness issue. Some people have raised concerns about his ability to concentrate over the 90 minutes. It could be a combination of both.
And plus,
certainly
it's
the levels.
First game of the season.
It is. But certainly the levels dipped a little bit. If you remember in that Wolves game, halfway through that second half, man, I was a little bit worried, because Wolves were starting
they seized control of that
Yeah,
match.
they did. So that's something that we need to address today. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, a few more super chats have come in. I'm worried that the team's going to be confirmed in a couple of minutes. KD says, Laurie, this one came in earlier. Classic example is your guy Eddie's transformation.
What do you mean by
It's
that?
true.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
physically.
yeah.
Physically.
Well, yeah. Oh, that was on that subject.
Physically. Yeah, he did.
Physically.
Oh, what you mean? How he's beefed
Yeah,
up?
yeah. How he was able to
yeah.
start
He did.
rolling defenders and
He
stuff.
did, yeah.
That's a fair point.
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
Max says, swear Tosin looks and sounds like Toby more day by day.
Yeah, I mean, we are.
Well, they are
Yeah.
twins. Yeah.
And
I'll never forget that time when I ran into you, didn't I, at Tottenham Hale Station, and I was calling him Toby, and then halfway through, the man said, "No, you must. That's my brother." I thought you were winding me up at first, man. But anyway,
Abdullah says Timber starts, but for who? White or Zinchenko? I don't think that's the question. Ben White, best right back in the league last season, in my opinion. So. This one from Jezza saying, guys, I think you've missed a point here. The mid block is our kryptonite. We will need to craft to play through Villa and Villa jump in the press. Timber to start, Zinni needed later.
yeah, that could well be the case. But I fully expect Timber to start. But again, we never know with a manager.
Maybe he's playing. Maybe he's playing mind games with us because what he was saying before the match didn't seem as if he's going to start Timber.
The one other position that may be up to some conjecture, and I want to get your views very, very quickly because we are aware that the team is pretty much out soon. Martinelli, does he start for you, or would you prefer to see Trossard?
Trossard.
You want Trossard in?
Trossard.
Turkish?
Martinelli.
Tell us why you want
I think we have to play him into form, if I'm honest with you. Because similar to Jorginho, in a different way, I don't think Trossard over 30 games as your starting left winger wins you a league.
I don't think so.
So I think, who's to say Martinelli does? But the thing about Martinelli is I expect an improvement on his season 2 seasons ago, this season, not his season last season. Do you get it? Yeah. It was a sloppy season for him last season, but that doesn't mean the bar's gone down now. I think if
he's in that
aside,
nucleus of players for which this season is a big season.
Yeah, and
Last
I think
season, for whatever reason, he underperformed. I know he had some injuries, but the form did dip. We got to be honest and say that. Right, okay, let's get to it. I'm hearing that the team is announced.
Yes, it is announced. Let me
give
just
you the
get
courtesy
it
of reading it out.
right here on the Arsenal Twitter page, I believe. Where is it? Oh, here we are. Sorry. So Raya in goal, back four of White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber. So Timber does come into the left back position.
the W's coming.
We have Partey in the 6, Rice in the 8, Odegaard in the 10, and Martinelli, Saka either side of Havertz.
Okay, it's
top.
a W. That's a W team.
So we were right then. So Timber does get the start. I think that does make sense. Like I said, if you look at Villa, one of their main attacking threats is that right wing, Leon Bailey. Very productive last season. I think he got something. I think he was their top assister last season. He also got quite a few goals. He's going to be a threat today. And we got to be honest, last season against Zinchenko, he pretty much had his way. So we don't want that. The game's going to be hard enough as it is.
Eddie's on the bench as well, by the way. So let me just read out the bench. Ramsdale, Zinchenko, Kivior, Calafiori, Jorginho, Nelson, Nanieri, Trossard, and Eddie Nketiah.
But that makes sense. Though, because if Jesus is out, he has to play.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because he's on his way out.
Yeah, but
he agreed to move to Marseille.
He agreed
to move to
Bro,
Forest.
I need you to be. You should be in the stands in Forest watching their match. You should not be on the bench.
No, but up until he leaves, he's still an Arsenal player.
Because don't tell. And Arsenal do not do what I'm thinking you're gonna do.
No, let's not talk into existence.
I did say that.
If it happens, we discuss it.
Okay.
Let's just keep. Even though I would have preferred. Listen, I know we're light at the moment, but Lewis Skelly on the bench, someone just that we saw from pre-season.
Just send a message that look, this guy's good.
It is over, Right, here we are. Look, that's why you're smiling so much today, man.
But I did say in the lead up to in the show where we was talking, I said, listen, it could impact Eddie's move because the club have to do their due diligence. You can't be letting man go.
Why should it impact his move? I'm sure they would have known about both offers for both players.
All right, so say it comes back, and listen, I hope this is not the case because also we want Jesus to be well and fit and ready to play. But supposing when he's diagnosed fully, it then transpires that he's going to be out for a few months. Do you really think Arsenal are going to let Eddie go like that?
No, you buy a player. We should have a list of strikers.
Buy the player that you were meant to buy.
Yeah, because we've needed one for a little while. But listen, Timbo, Tosin, you were shocked. Laurie, are you shocked by
No,
Timber?
no, I wanted Timber to
No,
start.
but I
surprised.
wanted me as well. But are you shocked by it? Because I don't know if I'm shocked. I think
I think
Arteta's
he's
someone that
ready.
learns quickly. That he's had to learn quickly. So this is
I'm surprised. I can't lie. I am surprised because I thought before his comments, Timber's gonna start. He came on. He looked good, but then he's saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, I'm not sure if he's 100% fit." Blah 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 to start. But it's like, okay, cool. Clearly he is. Maybe it's just mind games from Arteta.
Listen, he's ready, man. He's ready to go. And listen, we're all excited about Timber. And, you know, this is a good matchup today because Bailey, he is a good player and he will test Timber. So, listen, man.
But listen, McGinn will float there as well. McGinn
Yeah.
floats all over, and if they double, because listen, I think the space will still be there. I think a
100%.
lot of Arsenal fans do think that because Zinni's not there, that the space is going to be less open.
Exactly.
I think it's naturally going to be open because of what we expect or Arteta expects of the position.
If anything, I'm kind of happy about the Timber because that actually tells me what we're trying to do offensively. I think
Yeah.
that shows we're trying to actually. We're not coming here to, we're coming here to like dominate them. So I'm happy with that, to be honest.
Talking of Villa, could you give us the Villa 11, please?
Oh,
Turnbull?
sorry. Yep. Didn't know.
That'd be quite interesting. I know they had a couple of injury issues themselves. Matty Cash got injured last week.
Yeah,
There's talk
but
that he wasn't going to play today.
They'll probably play who? Konza right back
They probably play, is it Diego Carlos at right back?
or he'll come in centre back and Konza will go right
yeah,
back
yeah,
Give me a
because
second.
Pau
getting
Torres
up.
plays as well.
he does.
They got a good defense, to be fair.
Yeah, so I'm expecting Diego
Yeah.
Carlos.
So
to
here
come
we
into
are.
Cash.
Sorry about that. So Martinez in goal, obviously. Cash is playing.
Oh, is he playing?
okay,
Oh,
he's fit.
Konsa, Torres, and Dinya. Anana, Tillemans, and McGinn. Captain, obviously,
That's a double
Bailey,
pivot.
Rogers, and Watkins. So strong team there on the bench.
So Rogers, McGinn, and Bailey, is it?
Rogers, Watkins, Bailey up top. But yeah, McGinn's
yeah.
in.
Rogers
in
is
that
good.
midfield.
I can't lie. He's good.
So
Powerful player.
Villa possibly stronger than I first imagined because there was a lot of talk that Matty Cash could be out, but he's in.
It's fine.
Interesting.
Strong.
Now, just to touch on something that we were talking about tactically, how Villa would set up and how they will approach the game. I do think that Arsenal will probably enjoy most of the possession. I think Villa...
We always do against Villa.
Yeah, Villa
No matter
will
where,
be
we always
looking
do.
to counter-attack.
Yeah, we always do.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's fine. I mean, I was looking into it. Our past 3 matches against them, home and away, Arsenal we've dominated them. We've had more chances, more shots on target. My concern is not Villa outplaying us there. My concern is, are you going to take your chances? Because that's the only issue against Aston Villa. Last season, if it was a tight game at the Emirates, but if we took our chances in the first half, even the half chances, there's no uncertainty in that second half that gives them time to come into the match. And away from home, I mean, we had at least our XG stats should have been way higher. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It felt like a training match. Like you're having like clear cut chances in front of goal, and you're treating it as if you're gonna get chances like all night or something. So I just think we need our shooting boots on. And even when we won the 4-2, when Jorginho scored that last minute goal, yeah, they got us with 2 breakaway goals, the Coutinho and Ollie Watkins. But outside, we dominated them, had more chances than them. So I'm just hoping, take our chances. I don't really, with all due respect to Villa, play your strongest team. We're a better team than them. We're going to ball out against them. We just need to take our chances.
Yeah, that's the difference that I think. Because again, I'll bring, the whole argument of you'll have one side screaming we need a striker or at least an attacking forward. You'll have another side, saying, but look how many goals we scored, more than the Invincibles and all this. But I think the difference is conviction. I think there was a lot of games last season where we took our foot off the gas, 1 or 2 up, and we're a lot more solid than we was 5-10 years ago. So listen, 1 or 2 up, we still won the majority of the games, but there was games where we didn't, we didn't show conviction in the first half, and it cost us. Fulham, and West Ham and the 2 Villa games last season were the 3. I think Fulham were the only team of that batch to actually deserve the win outright over the 90.
Outright, yeah.
So if we show more, listen. Havertz has started the season in perfect fashion for me in terms of what I expect of a number 9 for a side that creates as much as Arsenal do. 1 goal, 1 assist. Nuisance problem. Now this is our first big test, along with Saka, along with Martinelli as well, who really does need to show up.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one of the 3 to be man of the match come the end, I'd pick Martinelli because I feel like his position is the one that's most under threat right now. So if we can get him going as well as Saka and Havertz, maybe the whole decision to lay off the attack, we will find out if we do lay off the attacker. But conviction is the difference. I think we will create chances.
And space as well. He'll definitely, Martinelli will get space today to play. So let's see what he does in it.
A few more super chats in. JJ says we must win and we need a striker, calling it now. And Abdullah says we buy Merino and Calafiori for almost same price. We sell Smith Rowe and Nketiah for, hopefully. If we don't sign anyone, that's about zero net spend. That's unacceptable. Well, yeah, people will add the Raya deal on top, which is fair because it is for this summer. But still, 30 million net spend is still, expecting some moves. Blicky says, is that Toby or on an AFTV stream? No, twin brother, Tosin, big up. The smart one of the two, Arsenal fan. But yeah, that's the super chats. Big up the community. Hit the like button, people.
Yeah, thanks for those. There is one other area I wanted to touch on before we close today, guys. And, it's been doing the rounds on lots of chats. I was chatting about it on the Invincible show the other day. You may or may not have seen Robbie's fan cam now with Yardman that went viral last week.
Was it about Emery?
Talking about the two managers.
Yep.
That's certainly been a big talking point in the lead up to this game, one that is very relevant. Let's start with you, Tosin. Arteta or Unai Emery?
Do I have to pick an outright one?
Just give me your views on it. I mean,
cool.
It's quite a nuanced subject.
Yeah,
I can look at it from different.
I've been speaking about. I was speaking to Dan Potts about. I think it's a stupid debate because I don't like the fact that Arsenal fans talk down on Emery. He's clearly a good manager. He's made history with Villarreal, won them their first ever trophy. He's got 4 Europa Leagues in total. The guy's obviously a good manager. He's managed clubs like PSG, at Arsenal, Sevilla, Villarreal. And look at what he's doing with Aston Villa. He's clearly a good manager. But I think it's a stupid debate because Arsenal fans saying, Emery, if only we had Emery. He was at Arsenal. He was at Arsenal and he failed. Oh, yeah, but Kroenkes, the club structure wasn't in place. I'm like, yeah, you can say all of these things, but I don't believe in coincidences. Is it just a coincidence that Arteta comes in and all of a sudden the issues with the egos in the team, the issues with the toxic culture, all of a sudden that changes? No, it's not a coincidence. The guy came in and literally overcame the toxicity of the club, built a relationship with the fans, mended relationships between Xhaka and the fans to the point that now Xhaka's going and people are like, oh yeah, like if only we want you to stay. So Arteta's transformed the club. He's thriving where Emery's failed ultimately. That's why I think it's a stupid debate because number one, and also as well, Arteta's first job is Arsenal. We're a big club. We are probably third biggest club in England, right? This is his first job, and look at what he's doing. Yes, he's not won a trophy, but people trying to use Emery's UEFA Cup, Europa League as a stick to beat Arteta with is so stupid because is Jose Luis Mendelabart a better manager than Arteta now since he's won a UEFA Cup? Is Juan de Ramos a better manager? Like, come on.
No, I think that the argument, it's pretty clear to see why people would float that because...
It's a lazy argument.
Because Unai Emery's managed Arsenal, not to great success, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
But now Arteta's in charge. But if you look at the records, I mean, listen, the man's got a managerial career that spans like 19 years. 4 different countries, Spain, Russia, France and England. He's managed in that time about 9 clubs.
True.
He's won like 11 trophies.
That's true.
So when people say they think he's a better manager, I don't necessarily think that it's an insult to Arteta to say that because obviously Arteta's not reached his ceiling yet.
Yeah.
So, and you can understand why people are drawing comparisons because he used to manage Arsenal and let's be honest, in recent times, he's got the better of Arteta.
Yeah, he
Twice last year.
He has.
We didn't even score a goal against him. So what I'm saying is you can understand why they like
Sean Dyche Tony Pulis got the better of Arsene Wenger a couple of times. Is he a better manager than Wenger? I think. But
respect, Tony Pulis never managed Arsenal.
Yeah, that's true.
You can see why people are drawing the comparison.
They are, but it's just they're using it as a means to try and like downplay what Arteta's done. If you ask me right now, who am I taking? I'm taking Arteta still. Arteta's legit a better coach than him. He's legit. Like I'm not even trying. Emery's a good coach, but Arteta for me, he's the best coach after Pep Guardiola in the league. Like what makes Arsenal so good? Not only do we have the quality, this is an extremely well coached team, a team that like season by season, the weaknesses are reducing bit by bit. Like who's gonna come in and do the job that Arteta's done? I'm struggling. Who's gonna come in?
Let's go to Turkish. I know you got some views on this.
ultimately, I'll start with ultimately. Ultimately, it comes down to if both were available in the summer, who would attract the interest from the bigger clubs, and that's Mikel Arteta. I don't think that's an argument. Now, the argument comes from the angles people want to use, and then listen, the simplified way of looking at it is trophies. And if you argue trophies with me, then with me or whoever, there is no argument.
Yeah,
Emery has proven himself in that at that level. That he's got the experience, he's got the trophy haul to go with it. But like I said, ultimately, it does come down to, at this moment in time, if both were available, what clubs come in for them. And if the bigger clubs are coming in for Mikel, which everyone should kind of agree with, I think, that's what would happen.
Some people wouldn't know, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, but they would be very stubborn, strong and wrong.
No, I'll tell you why I say that. Because after that fan cam last week, like I said, went viral, everyone was talking about it. I'm in quite a few WhatsApp groups. So I actually attached that clip and I sent it out to quite a few people. And I simply said to those guys, who's right, Robbie or Yardman? And do you know what? There was a lot of people that was taking Yardman's point of view, because what they also said was, and this is something that we also have to bear in mind, Tosin, is that when he took over at Villa, right, they were sleepwalking into disaster, weren't they?
Yeah.
After Gerrard left there. And this man's up the fortunes of that club.
You know what people
got them into playing Champions League football.
Yeah. You know what people felt? Sorry, people failed to mention Emery's league form at any club. Obviously aside from PSG, where he won the league, I think one season, was it?
Yeah.
I think his league.
I was going to say that.
And I've been through an era. I'm talking from an era where we was winning FA Cups. I was furious at the end of seasons, but we were winning FA Cups. Yeah. So I get the whole simplified argument of trophies. Yeah, and it at the highest level, when you look back, it's about trophies without a shadow of a doubt. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, ultimately it comes down to who we wanted in the summer, who's more the attractive manager, who can build a side, because that's what football's about, building a side, because there's not an abundance of world-class players and that those players with an X factor. There's no, look around, goalkeeper, defender, striker, midfielder. It's a struggling market. Yeah, the manager now makes the players. Do you get what I'm saying? Where before the players used to make themselves and the manager used to put them in there and build around. Yep. Now the players have to fit into the system that's already built by a manager on paper, in his mind. Yeah. Do you get it? So for me, Emery's quality. I think it was time at Arsenal. He fell off in the league, and like I said, I've been through an era where we was winning trophies, but I was still furious at the end of the season because we're not Villarreal, we're not Sevilla or Aston Villa or West Ham or Girona or whoever around these leagues that are 4th, 5th, 6th sometimes. We're Arsenal, and I came from winning majors. This ownership came in when we was in the Champions League final. So that's what I want to see. And don't get it twisted now. It's been 4 years, so it's about time trophies start coming in. Don't get it twisted. Like that's a separate argument in itself. Exactly. But we can appreciate both managers. It's always people just always want to knock Arsenal. That's what it is.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's a nuanced debate. I mean, my response to what people have been saying is that, and it's a bit like what you were saying, Tosin, they're both quality managers. There's no getting around that. You cannot ignore what Emery's done. Like I said, he's won 11 trophies in his managerial career.
He's a quality manager.
Compared to Arteta's one. However, he's been managing a lot longer in different clubs all over the continent. So he's far more experienced. I think what I would say is you have to look at who's the better manager for Arsenal. And you would have to say Arteta wins that debate hands down. I mean, yes, Emery did have quite a successful time for a while. So if you remember, we had that unbeaten run. Yeah. Fans were even singing, "We got our Arsenal back." He
started off well.
He actually got us to a Europa League final, which ended in a bit of a humiliating defeat. And I think it was from there that things started to go downhill for him, and he couldn't quite recover it. And then he lost his job subsequently. But listen, thanks guys for that. I just got to wrap things up by asking you guys for your prediction later. Now that we've seen the starting 11.
Before I give the prediction, 3 super chats to get in.
Yeah, please.
Blicky says that he knew it wasn't Toby. This brother's watching a game, which is a common joke around Tobes. Louis says Nketiah's doing a Leonardo DiCaprio. I ain't leaving. And Blicky also adds, ask anyone who they would take now. They would tell you Mikel. Who's better between Jose and Mikel? what you did in the past don't matter now. Okay, that's a very fair example. Marie Vasey, Jose Mourinho, okay, 100%. If we're talking legacy, it's you couldn't put them in the same sentence. But right now, and there isn't a question. But sorry, Laurie, prediction. I've seen our lineup strong. Timber starts. I'm gonna edge it. I'm gonna say, actually, I'm gonna go 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1
Let me go with my OG prediction.
That's pretty
3-1.
affirmative.
Yeah.
2-1.
2-1.
Okay, 2-1.
2-1 Arsenal, sorry.
I'm sorry if I sound a little bit on the negative side, but I see this being a very difficult game. I think we got the ability to win, but something tells me that this game could end up as a draw. And if it is a draw, as long as the performance is good, I'm not going to turn my nose up at that, because I do think that Villa are a very good side, especially at home, and to go there and win is not an easy feat. But before we finish, if you could just run through the 2 lineups again, or if you can't get to it, I'm happy to do so.
Have you got them on hand? Oh, it's on screen, sorry. Yep, lineup for Arsenal is Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, the back 4. So Timber starts in place of Zinni, and then it's Partey, Rice and Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli either side of Havertz, with a bench of
this beast.
Ramsdale, Zinchenko, Kivior, Calafiori, Jorginho, Nelson, Ranieri, Nketiah on the bench. So why are you predicting a draw? He's going to come off and bag the winner, no? And Trossard.
Well, let's hope so. If that's that's what it takes to get the win, let's hope we can do that.
Cool.
And the Villa lineup?
And the Villa lineup is Martinez in goal, Cash is in the starting 11, Consart, Torres, the back 2 with Digne, Onana, Tielemans and McGinn, with Bailey and Rodgers behind Watkins. So a strong lineup from Villa as well.
I'm surprised that Diego Carlos doesn't start. Like, what's going on? Like, he was like one of their best centre-backs, if not their best centre-back last season. I'm surprised.
Konza and Teres have been doing really well. Okay, guys, so you've seen the 2 lineups there. Both teams are strong. I'm looking very much forward to this game. I think it's going to be a great game. Don't forget to rejoin us. We'll be going on air, 15, 20 minutes before the game. The game kicks off at 5:30, so anytime after about 5:10, we will be back on air. Myself, Tosin and Turkish, we're looking forward to it. Thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to rejoin us for what promises to be a great game. Take care. We'll see you soon.
We've got a very special guest in the house. Josh Richardson, NBA player who plays for the Miami Heat. Who would you be in the Arsenal team?
Ben White.
So you got that little nice streak.
Yeah, I'm probably a better scorer than Ben White. Like, I like to shoot a lot of threes. Yeah. Theo Walcott. This guy is a burner. And I'm like, yo. I turned, I was like, bro, Theo Walcott is sitting right behind us. And they're like, who is that? And I'm like, nah, you don't get it.
Worst record in the NBA last season?
Maybe like Portland Trailblazers.
Portland, so that's Tottenham, right?
That was a setup.